To join two pieces of stocking stitch side by side using mattress stitch, start by laying your knitting out so that the rows line up with the bottom closest to you. Thread a tapestry needle with the same yarn you've been knitting with. I'm just going to use a contrasting colour here so you can clearly see what I'm doing. And the first thing we need to do is locate the little horizontal lines that lie in between the first and second stitches of your knitting. So remembering that stocking stitch has a tendency to curl in on itself, just pull that out a little bit. You can see the first stitch is represented by a V there, and there's the second stitch, and we're going to pull it apart and see that there are some little horizontal lines like the rungs of a ladder running up in between those first and second stitches all the way up. And the same on this side. So this side is curling in a little bit. There's the first stitch here, and over here there's the second stitch, and in between we've got these horizontal lines. We're going to begin by joining these corners. So we need to find the very first horizontal line in the first row. So here we can see we've got the cast on edge, and this little horizontal line belongs to the first row of knitting. So we're going to start by bringing the yarn up through that hole, leaving a tail so that we can sew this in at the end. Then we're going to find the corresponding one on this side. So we're going to pull it apart a little bit. The first one is often a little tricky to find. And you can see this is the cast on edge, and this horizontal line here is attached to the first row of stitches there. So we're going to come up through that gap just before the first horizontal bar of the first row of knitting. Pull it through, and then we're going to find that same space that we used before, just here, and we're going to come up that again to make a kind of a figure of 8, which we can pull tight later. Now we're going to go back over to this side, and we're going to find the first horizontal bar from the first row again. So that's actually the same space that that first bit has come up through. So we're going to hook the first horizontal bar for the first row and pull that through. Do the same on this side. Again, we're going through that same hole, going to find the first horizontal bar for the first row. Then we're going to go over to the other side, and we're on the second row now. Scoop that up, pull it through, and again on this side. And we're going to keep going for a few stitches. And then every so often, just pull it tight to check that you're still lining up. And you'll see how beautifully that seam closes together, and you can't really see where you've been doing the sewing. Now after you've done that one, when you've pulled it tight, sometimes it's a little tricky to find the next little rung of the ladder, so just take care that you don't miss any out. Let's see where that one came up from. Maybe just loosen that a little so we can actually see make sure we don't miss anything. So there's my next one. The next one here. Pull that tight again. Make sure they're all lining up nicely before continuing. And then let's loosen off that first one there, just so we can see where we are. And we're going to go in there. Sure we get this one right, and that's where we've got to go. So you keep working in this way all the way to the end of the seam, pulling it tight from time to time. And then when you've got to the end, you can secure your sewing with a few stitches and weave in your ends.